Winter in Virginia is unpredictable. Heavy snow, extreme cold, ice, and wind during a winter storm pose dangers to life and property. Preparing for cold weather conditions and responding to them effectively reduces the hazards associated with winter storms. My name is Ann Hall, and on this program I will bring you information from the Fairfax County Office of Emergency Management about emergency planning during the winter months. This information will help you recognize winter threats, develop an action plan, and be ready when severe winter weather threatens our area.
Well, certainly there's been a lot of storms that hit the mid-Atlantic just by the nature of having the big moisture source of the ocean and also accessible to the cold Arctic air that sweeps down over here. Some of the more notable ones just in recent decades, there was the big President's Day blizzard of '79, followed by the big President's Day blizzard 2, which came just a few years ago in 2003. There was a really big blizzard in 1996, was one of the big storms of record, and then the storm they called at the time the storm of the century in 1993, which had a wide swath of snow all the way from Georgia up through the Northeast. Those big nor'easter blizzards that usually are kind of looked back on as the big blizzards of record are generally snow storms. But certainly we do have our troubles with ice and freezing rain, mixed storms, which are notoriously hard to forecast exactly where the transition line is going to be and how it's going to evolve.
Although periods of extreme cold cannot always be predicted far in advance, weather forecasts can sometimes provide you with several days' notice. Stay informed. Check weather forecasts regularly. For emergency updates on storm activity, tune in to Cable Channel 16 or other local TV and radio stations. Fairfax County provides up-to-date emergency information on its website and on its emergency radio frequency at 1670 AM. By signing up for CEAN, the county's emergency alert network, you'll receive text messages on weather alerts to your phone or any mobile device in the event of an emergency. The McConnell Public Safety and Transportation Operations Center, commonly referred to as PSTOC, is a model of multi-agency cooperation and coordination. Working together, emergency management, police, fire and rescue, public works, and the Virginia Department of Transportation effectively manage emergencies such as winter weather storms from this location.
We have the ability to monitor all the traffic that's going on in the region, not just Fairfax, but also look at it from the perspective of how best to manage the traffic roadways. From the emergency management perspective, we have all the partners we need. We have the communications folks, we have the law enforcement, fire and rescue. We have everybody under one roof, if you will, so we can actually look at and manage events. What we've done with Dominion Virginia Power is we have identified the key critical infrastructure within the county. For example, schools, hospitals, things like this. And we've provided that list to them, and what they do basically is if we have a large-scale outage throughout the county, we work with them and they will help get those particular critical key structures up and running ahead of time. Again, it all depends on the crews and the amount of the outages and things like that. One of the other nice things that we have gotten with Dominion Virginia Power, every resident in Fairfax County can actually go to their website now at dominion.com, dom.com, and actually look at where the outages are in not only Fairfax but also in the state of Virginia and where they service their customers. We have also got additional access into their system so we can actually get down to the street level of where power outages are, so we can also get an idea as the amount of time it may be taking to get the service back up. So we've done a lot of work with those folks as well.
During a snowfall, road plows concentrate on keeping the main roads passable for public transportation and emergency vehicles. After the snow stops falling, crews quickly focus on clearing snow from all streets. During bad weather, consider riding the metro, catching a bus, or even taking a taxi. Every car left home reduces the number of stranded vehicles on the roadways. Know what the road conditions are before you decide to drive. You can call 511 or go online to 511virginia.org for up-to-date road reports or a listing of road closings during a major winter weather event.
Many times in our region, the transportation network, the Washington, D.C. area is pretty unique that we have three major jurisdictions, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, that share a major metropolitan area. So if something happens on the Beltway, just over the river, over in Maryland, it quickly impacts Virginia. And the same thing, if something happens over here, it impacts Maryland or DC. So for us, we need to view the transportation network as a regional entity, and we share information and try to keep that network flowing as best as we can.
The Virginia Department of Transportation monitors 140 cameras from the McConnell Peace Dock. The cameras record real-time information about accidents into computer systems that go automatically into Washington, D.C. and Maryland.
Traffic is bad here normally, even in good weather, but during a bad weather day, things can go really bad. We do work with the counties on both their schools, working with them to notify them on what our response is going to be for a snow event.
In the event of a severe winter storm, it's best to stay indoors. If you have to go out, dress warmly. It's always best to dress in layers. Exposure to extremely cold temperatures can cause frostbite or hypothermia, and both are potentially life-threatening. Your ability to feel change in temperatures decreases with age, and older people are more likely to have health problems caused by very cold weather.
If you're stuck by yourself, let's say your car breaks down and you're worried that you're getting frostbitten, the most important thing to do is to find shelter, to remove any wet or cold clothing, take off any jewelry that might be constricting, put on loose, dry clothing, and then get to a hospital as soon as possible. The person with frostbite will start saying, I feel that it's numb, sometimes tingling, even itching or burning, and that the hand doesn't work very well, that it's a little bit clumsy. And in severe cases of superficial frostbite, you can even get clear blisters. Mild hypothermia is from 95 down to 89.6. First, you'll notice that a person is shivering, and that's because the body wants to use the muscles to create heat. But as the body gets colder, a person may become confused, maybe slurring their speech. They'll often be staggering or very, very clumsy. In some ways, it looks a little bit like a stroke.
If you must go outside, dress warmly. Wear several layers of loose-fitting, lightweight clothing rather than one layer of heavy clothing. The outer garments should be tightly woven and water-repellent. Mittens are warmer than gloves. Wear a hat. Most body heat is lost through the top of the head. Cover your mouth with a clean scarf to protect your lungs from cold air. Ice is very dangerous because it's often hidden from view on surfaces such as sidewalks and streets. Many cold weather injuries result from falls on ice-covered sidewalks, steps, driveways, and porches. Keep your steps and walkways free of ice by using rock salt or another chemical de-icing compound. Sand may also be used on walkways to reduce the risk of slipping.
So if you fall and hurt yourself, one rule I have is if you're able to take a Tylenol or an ibuprofen and the pain goes away and you can move everything okay, you're probably fine. Sleep on it. If you wake up the next morning and still have a lot of pain, then go ahead and see your doctor or show up in the emergency department. However, if you fall and the pain is so severe that a Tylenol or an ibuprofen isn't covering it, you should probably come in.
Virginia's biggest winter storms are the great nor'easters. At times, nor'easters have become so strong that they have been labeled white hurricanes. Nor'easters can occur any time between October and April, when moisture and cold air are plentiful. These types of storms are known for dumping heavy amounts of rain and snow, producing hurricane-force winds, and creating high surfs that can cause severe beach erosion and coastal flooding. Nor'easters are often at their worst during the months of January and February. If you lose your power and become isolated, keep enough supplies in your home to meet your needs and those of each family member for 3 days. Winter preparedness supplies to have on hand include a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio and extra batteries, at least a week's worth of food and safety supplies. If you live far from other people, have more supplies on hand. Water, 1 gallon per day per person. Canned no-cook food like bread, crackers, and dried fruits. A non-electric can opener. Special products if you have infants or elderly people in your household, such as baby food and prescription medications. A first aid kit. Rock salt to melt ice on walkways. A supply of cat litter or a bag of sand to add traction on walkways. Battery-powered lamps or lanterns. To prevent the risk of fire, avoid using candles. A change of clothing and footwear for everyone in your family, and a blanket or sleeping bag per person. An extra set of car keys, and a credit card, cash, or traveler's checks. Copies of important family documents in a waterproof container. If you plan to use a fireplace or wood stove for emergency heating, make sure to have your chimney or flue inspected and cleaned each year. If using a fireplace or kerosene heater, install a smoke detector and battery-operated carbon monoxide detector near the area. Test monthly and replace your batteries twice a year.
Because during the winter months, when you're operating kerosene heaters, portable heaters, and fireplaces, sometimes carbon monoxide may emit from some of these devices. Every spring and every fall, you want to make sure that the batteries have been replaced and that these systems are actually functioning and working properly. People should not place space heaters, for example, next to their beds. You have materials on your bed, blankets and so forth, that are flammable materials. So you want to make sure that there's a good 3 feet spacing between whatever heating device you have and any combustible. When you're taking a look at kerosene heaters, obviously the location where you place it is going to be important. You want to make sure that the kerosene heater is in a way that's in a location that's ventilated, and you want to make sure that the kerosene fuel is the proper fuel. Some people may have a tendency to want to use gasoline or other items, but you want to make sure it's definitely kerosene. In regards to fireplaces, you want to make sure that there is a screen or a glass covered facing on the fireplace entrance to make sure that the sparks aren't flying, to create an ignition source in itself. And the same thing for wood burn stoves. You want to make sure that its location is in a place where the sparks aren't flying, and that even the wood burn stove as well as the fireplace is being serviced on an annual basis by a chimney sweeper, an authorized company who specializes in that.
For homeowners, severe winter weather can cause a multitude of problems, so preparation is the key. It's a good idea to locate and mark your mainline water valve and check it for proper operation. This valve controls the water flowing into your home, and knowing where it is will allow you to quickly turn off water if a pipe should burst. Your plumbing includes all of the pipes and fixtures on your property, from the meter or valve near the street to the faucets inside your home. Water meters and their settings are owned and maintained by the Fairfax County Water Authority. When winterizing your plumbing, shut off and drain pipes leading to your outside faucets using the valves located inside your home to make sure that no water is left to freeze, expand, or cause a leak in these lines. Insulating pipes in unheated spaces will also keep these areas from freezing.
One of the primary things that people can do to keep their pipes from freezing is put insulation on top of the pipe. And this is as simple as going to the Home Depot or Lowe's and getting insulation, wrapping the pipe up in insulation with duct tape on top to keep the insulation secure. This will do a great service in keeping the pipes from freezing. It's really important to do so. One of the issues that you could face if this pipe freezes is, as we all know, when water freezes, it expands. And if you get expansion in a frozen pipe, it has a tendency to want to burst the pipe. And once the freezing recedes, then you've got a leak, which you've obviously got the problem of the water coming into your house and also the pipe that's broken.
When the weather is bitterly cold, it's a good idea to allow faucets to drip a very, very small amount to keep the water moving inside the service line.
And this is really important because sitting water is detrimental to keeping your house from having freezing pipes. As long as you can keep the water moving, it's really, really good to do so because you won't have a freezing issue. This is especially important for people who have experienced freezing in the past, because if if you've been in a circumstance and you know that you are in a susceptible area for this, and you've got a bitterly cold evening coming up, it'd be a good idea to just let your faucet just drip. It doesn't have to be much of a flow at all, just a drip.
If you suspect you have a frozen meter, please call the Fairfax Water Authority. Don't take matters into your own hands. If you are away from home, keep the thermostat at a reasonable temperature to make sure all areas with water pipes are kept above freezing. Service crews are available 24 hours a day and will respond as soon as possible to your request. You can reach customer service at 703-698-5800, TTY 711, during normal business hours. After normal business hours, the emergency number is 703-698-5613, TTY 711.
I have physically seen myself, people taking blowtorches and not knowing where their meters are and going to their gas meter and using a blowtorch thinking that they are thawing out a water meter when in fact they're using it on that gas meter, and you can imagine there's no good that can come from that. I've also seen situations where people have taken a hairdryer out in damp conditions with snow on the ground and tried to use the hairdryer to thaw out their meter. Don't do that. That's dangerous. Allow us to get out there and do our jobs. We want everybody to be safe. We don't want people to get in situations where they may cause trouble and harm to themselves.
Conserving energy and saving money on utility bills is important to all homeowners. You can help by insulating walls and attics, caulking and putting weather stripping around doors and windows, installing storm windows, or covering your windows with plastic. Taking time for a home energy audit is also a good way to save money on utility bills and help the environment with a more energy-efficient approach to maintaining your home.
The first being an online energy audit, where a homeowner goes online, possibly at energystar.gov, where we have a home energy yardstick tool. And it's a basic, quick educational audit that allows a homeowner to put in some basic information of the house, the size of the home, when it was built, how many occupants, and most importantly, the billing utility histories. And then the home energy yardstick will calculate and give a score on how efficient that house is as compared to other homeowners in the same zip code. And it begins the process of the homeowner realizing that their score isn't that good and they can make some substantial improvements in energizing their home. And then of course there's lots of information there. Second is what we call more of an energy survey, and utility companies have been offering these for years. Here an auditor comes to the home and spends some time, about an hour or so, looking at the home's major systems, the heating and cooling, the windows, insulation, the shell, but even more importantly, there's a discussion with the homeowner on what's going on in this house. Let's look at your bills. Let's evaluate how much of these bills are heating and cooling and how much are baseline.
A car in good working condition is a must during the cold winter months. Have maintenance service on your car or truck as often as the manufacturer recommends. Replace windshield wiper fluid with a winterized mix. Replace worn tires and check the air pressure in all of your tires. During the winter, keep the gas tank near full to help avoid ice in the tank and fuel lines.
Number one, you've got to make sure that the antifreeze is fresh and working, because you don't want to lose an engine to a freeze. You want to make sure that the tires are the proper tires for the area that you're driving in. For example, up in Michigan, you might want to have studded tires because of the packed snow and ice on the road. Here it's not quite as important, but all-weather tires are important. When your windshield is iced over, you should, first of all, start to scrape. But one of the things you should not do is use gasoline on it. You should not use boiling water on it because it's likely to crack the glass because it's so doggone cold. You just want to make sure that you fully scrape the windshield and then brush off any excess snow and ice off the car, because if you leave the scrape on the hood or on the trunk, it'll fly off in traffic.
Since most of us don't stay home all the time, having a small emergency supply kit in your car or truck is a good idea in case you become stranded in bad weather. Important items to include in your vehicle are a cell phone, portable chargers, and extra batteries. Batteries lose their charge quickly in cold weather, so you want to have extra batteries with you. A shovel, in case you need to shovel snow from around your tires to drive. A windshield scraper. Frost on your windshield makes it difficult to see when driving. A battery-powered radio and extra batteries to keep informed about storms. A flashlight and extra batteries. Water. Snack food. Extra hats, coats, mittens, blankets, and boots. Tire chains. Canned compressed air with sealant. Road salt and sand. Booster cables. Emergency flares. Bright colored flag and help signs. First aid kit. Tool kit. Road maps. Compass. Waterproof matches and a can to melt snow for water. Paper towels. And a supply of cat litter or bag of sand for traction. Let a family member or friend know if you must travel during bad weather. Tell them your destination and what time you expect to arrive. Ask them to notify authorities if you're late. Staying in your vehicle when stranded is often the safest choice if a winter storm creates poor visibility or if roadways are covered with ice. If you must leave your car, stay clear of the roadway. Other cars could be a danger if someone loses control of their vehicle and goes into a skid.
But if you are stranded and make the decision that the best choice for you at that time is to leave your car, you want to make sure that you get clear of the roadway so that if someone else comes along in that same area where perhaps you've gone into a skid or slid off the road, you know, it's a good chance another vehicle might as well. So you want to be clear of that area so that if someone else loses control, they don't hit you. If you've got some control as to where you pull off the road, you decide that it's gotten too bad, that you need to stop, that you know the visibility is bad, you can't go any further. You know, the best place absolutely to pull off is a parking lot. You don't want to be along the side of the road where you can get hit or your car can get hit. You really only need to look at guardrails in a lot of places and see the dents in the guardrails where other cars have hit, and that's not a location you want to be, so try and get off the roadway if you can.
If stranded in your car, wrap your entire body, including your head, in extra clothing, blankets, or newspapers. Stay awake. You'll be less vulnerable to cold-related health problems. Run the motor and the heater for about 10 minutes per hour, opening one window slightly to let in air. Make sure that snow is not blocking the exhaust pipe. This will reduce the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. As you sit, keep your arms and your legs moving to improve your circulation and stay warmer. Do not eat unmelted snow because it will lower your body temperature. The Fairfax County Government Emergency Information Line provides year-round preparedness information for county residents. In the event of inclement weather or any other type of emergencies, the county provides up-to-date information about government office closings and service changes, as well as other pertinent information. The Emergency Information Line phone number is 703-817-7771. TTY 711. Severe winter storms and other emergencies create special challenges for seniors, persons with disabilities, and anyone with special health needs. Registration with the county's Social Needs Registry and Medical Needs Registry helps to facilitate direct, easy communications and transportation when needed.
Well, the medical registry is designed to register individuals. And these would be individuals that would not be able to be independent in a large general shelter. They're people who have health conditions or health conditions that require monitoring. For example, they need assistance with bathing, dressing, feeding, ambulating. They would not be independent in a large general shelter. The social registry is designed as a tool to try to get agencies and organizations, and as well as houses of worship, to partner with the county so that we will be better prepared for emergencies, and also that the county can respond well after an emergency strikes. So what we're trying to do is to get the agencies, organizations, and houses of worship to sign up on the social registry so we know where they are, what resources they have, and what they can do to assist the county in responding to an emergency.
You can register with the Social Needs Registry or the Medical Needs Registry by visiting the county's website. Once there, click the link Special Needs Registry. This takes you to a web page where you'll see the option to register for the Social Needs Registry or the Medical Needs Registry. Choose the service that best fits your needs. Registration is also available in Spanish, Korean, Farsi, Arabic, Chinese, Urdu, and Vietnamese to aid non-English speaking residents. In order to help everyone in Fairfax County with emergency preparedness, staff from the Office of Emergency Management are available to give presentations to homeowners associations, civic groups, businesses, or faith communities. Give them a call at 571-350-1000, TTY 711, to learn more. Remember, severe weather storms or other disasters can strike quickly, often without warning. Protect yourself and your family by being prepared.